Hello YouTube and welcome back to The Zone, where today, ladies and gentlemen, we are, as going along with the saga timelines, we are now moving on to the second major saga in Chris Chan's life, the Megan Schroder saga. And I'll be able to go through this because hopefully I believe that pretty much the majority of these sagas are in chronological order. The only reason why I'm possibly may have some suspicions about this is because I don't quite remember from watching the history of Chris Chan Part 1 whether or not it was Sarah Hammer or Megan Schroder that forced Chris into the crawl space, but I think we'll find out. I'm pretty sure that was Sarah Hammer, and Megan Schroder came in a little bit later. And if you've probably already guessed, this is going to be a very, very long article as well, so I might do this in separate parts because I think we've got a lot to get through today, guys. So, let's just get started. Christian, story of my current days. Ah, for her I would travel even 1,000 miles just to be with her. Fortunately, she lives only about 1 hour from my house, and I meet her once a week at a closer-to-home social. This feeling, it was, and still is, so pure and true. It was like as if I was born to love her. When she smiles, I feel like I'm walking on sunshine, as I'm giving my replying smile and gaze into her eyes, and her hair is the softest and most warm tingling. Cloud 9, I feel like I'm on a 10. If it was, first off, I could point out every single reference he was trying to make there. They're not necessarily too hard to find. But also, that was something extracting something very near poetry, actually, from Chris. Although I will say is that I think it's hilarious. He said he would walk 1,000 miles, but I don't particularly think he would walk the 1 hour to her house. Unless, of course, it was like a 1 hour car drive or a 1 hour commute, whatever, that sort of thing. Also, born to love her. I don't quite know if that's meant to be like an Aerosmith reference, but that seems just a little bit creepy. Well, actually, considering Chris, we pretty much know what it is. Megan gives her own view. Oh no. ED didn't drag my name through the mud, but you did. That's true. I don't know. I can't keep disgracing myself and forgiving. I have some pride, I've forgiven you so many times before, it's just getting irritating now. Even I have my limits. Yeah, I'm going to assume the first part there about what Christians extract, he leaked that onto Encyclopedia Dramatica, or he leaked that somewhere, and now people are just starting to harass Megan because of this. And you can see Megan Schroder right there, born 23rd of July 1986, age 33, possibly 34 at this time, and oh boy, yeah, let's just continue. Megan Schroder, born 23rd of July 1986, is a former gal pal of Christian Weston Chandler's, with whom he had perhaps the closest relationship with anybody he's ever had in his life. Chris first met Megan in the summer of 2004 at the game place. Following Chris's progressively creepier, unwanted advances, she cut off contact with him in early 2008. Since then, Chris has developed an intense and unwarranted grudge against her, thanks to misconceptions fed to him by Bob and his autistic delusions about her scheming with Michael Snyder to have him banned from the game place. Chris's attempt to contacts with Megan have dragged as late as 2018. Christ. Why on earth? First off, obviously it was delusions that, but I'm pretty sure, I'm going to say right now, Megan Schroder probably had nothing to do with Michael Snyder or them two conspiring against Chris. But also, I find it very, very strange that anyone, you would hold a grudge against someone just because you refuse to date them. That just seems, again, probably even creepier still when you think about it. And we can see here, this is the Megan saga, which I believe started from 2004, which when he met at the gameplays, solitude issues, emails, parts and images, oh god, images, slow period, and second coming, where apparently Chris believed that they were still after something, and we'll probably get to these parts in due time. And look at the fear in her eyes. Just, yeah, that just says it all, doesn't it? Prologue. Main articles, emails 2005 to 2006. See also Megan emails July 27. During the late summer months, I picked up and started the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. It was around the time the movie came into theaters. One Saturday at the game place, where I was going for Pokemon TCG on Fridays, I met Megan and John Schroder. At first I thought they were a couple, but they were just sister and brother. Right. Over the months of getting to know Megan, I grew fond of her, although at the time, and up to now, she wasn't interested in a lovely relationship. I don't particularly know you could ever use lovely to describe Chris. I've bided to her wishes and requests. I am truly fond of her, and I hope she will have a change of heart soon. She'll be turning 21 on July 23rd, 2007. Change of heart, again, there's everything Christian has to say is references or something like that, because that's like the 6th one we could add to the ratio. Megan is a typical truly boyfriend-free girl, even claiming to be asexual. She had a few eccentricities which Chris was more than happy to copy and oblige. Gee, I wonder why. Namely, her fondness for My Little Pony, Sailor Moon, and using Chris like a debit card because she was too lazy to go on eBay herself. Megan and Chris first met at the game place in summer 2004 over a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! The two apparently struck up a friendship of sorts. They had an obvious connection from the start. You see, this is something I'm trying to think about. Maybe there was something these two actually had at the beginning. Maybe there was something a little bit innocent in all this, but we'll just have to keep going, because I'm pretty sure, I don't know, since they were both idling their 20s away playing card games marketed to preteens. Yeah, imagine that, grown-ups playing children's card games. It only took a few games. Okay, I'll say this just before. I grew out of the card game like when I was about 12, 13, but I don't know, I think there's still something in the game to enjoy. I'm not here to say whether or not you can and cannot play it, just, you know. And a handful of emails before Chris saw Megan as his sweetheart. Megan, however, did not reciprocate this sentiment. It probably didn't help that Megan was getting Chris to buy things for her like a stereotypical wife nagging her husband. You see, again, I'll say I don't particularly think this seems like a... I know probably Chris was maybe in love and very naive, but anyone with half a brain cell could have probably realized that, you can't buy your way into a relationship. That's not how that works. Probably in Chris's mind, he probably thought Megan was so fond of Chris because he was getting all this good stuff for her, but she, as far as she was concerned, she simply saw him as just something to spend money on. And I'm gonna say Megan is definitely in the wrong for this, but what on earth happened afterwards is something I want to find out. Please, can you get this video for me? Please, hurry, thanks. Megan in Megan emails. A video for me? Again, videos pretty much... I'd say 2004, 2005 is pretty much when VHS is sort of were completely went obsolete. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was around about that time anyway. Though the end of 2005 and into 2006... Chris would obsess over Megan, writing her into his comic, trying to drag her into dates, trying to snuggle, hold her hand, kiss her, and other attempted romantic gestures. If you could call dragging somebody into doing those sort of things romantic. This didn't accomplish anything but rousing the ire of Megan, who was uncomfortable with these advances and only saw him as a friend, nothing more. She repeatedly tried to assert her asexuality to Chris in an effort to prevent his advances. Now, if she did, and if there was some quotes... Now, listen. I know fine well, I don't want to come across as, all high and mighty for this, but in law, if Megan and Chris were ever in court, you would have to prove by, you would have to prove literally by some statements or some evidence that Megan technically was trying to do that, because if it did and it did reach to Chris, then there would have been no doubt about it that Megan was obviously not interested. Why Chris still felt like she was is beyond me. Whether or not these messages did exist, or Chris just ignored them or misinterpreted them differently, is a different matter altogether. Who was uncomfortable with these advances and only saw him as a friend, nothing more. She repeatedly tried to assert her asexuality to Chris in an effort to prevent his advances. Sadly, this fell on deaf ears, and Chris would continue to hound her. Even when Megan eventually resorted to claiming she had a boyfriend, Chris was not deterred. Unfortunately for her, this was only the beginning. Again, if I was Chris, that would have been the point to have backed off. If she said she was in the relationship, well, what else are you supposed to do? Like, disbelieve her and continue to... Yeah, because this was just like with PVCC. This is only going to get Chris into more and more trouble if he doesn't understand why they're telling him these things. Megan Saga. Sailor Megtoon. Megan, like Chris, enjoyed drawing cartoons, and this seems to have caught Chris's eye early in the game. Every time I see your drawings, I get inspired to work more on my comics. Christian. Again, listen, that's not really that creepy. You could take inspiration from literally anything and get you to work in some cases. And again, I can't really hold Christian accountable for that, because anyone could say that and feel something, I guess. In what was a fortunate alignment of his ass-kissing campaign with the series of diary entries that Sonichu had become, Megan, later retconned as Meg-chan, soon made her first appearance as Sailor Megtoon in Sonichu No. 5, along with Megami Leskunk and her own furry sidekick. The two are purportedly sailor soldiers, and reveal on the spot that Chris is an old friend of theirs, including Megagi, and thwart the evil jerk-ops that trying to ruin Chris's love quest, with Rockin' Hurricane causing Magic Rocket to blast off again. Again, this just... Chris's writing is... Her influence on the art of Sonichu is apparent in Chris's sudden transition to a more anime style with Sonichu No. 5, most notably in his character's eyes, which become large and shiny, getting dangerously close to crossing the line. Christian, I thought it was gonna lose you. I'd feel just terrible if I lost my friend who I really like. I'm also sad that your sister fell in and I couldn't save her. Right, it's not your fault. You don't have to fret. We'll get Crystal back. I'm just glad you're safe. You're the sweetest, kindest girls. I'd hate to lose you too. Okay. Megan and Chris appeared to chat about comics in their email conversations. Chris critiqued some of her story ideas and ran the plotline for Sonichu No. 6. So, wait a minute, by her... Okay, right, so he asked pretty much for like her permission to use it in Sonichu No. 6. Yeah. Including a bizarre offer to write in Megan's own imaginary character. While Megan probably found the whole thing harmlessly eccentric at first, Sonichu No. 5 managed to create some drama pretty quickly upon its release. Megan undoubtedly flipped when she saw her character getting romantic with Chris, as well as being portrayed in a sexualized manner. Chris completely failed to comprehend why she was angry, but did a retcon a couple of pages to tone them down. This did not please Megan, however. Chop Chop Master Onion Wrap Showdown. In any case, I loathe Adam and his sister for stealing my one chance at taking my sweet girlfriend to Seattle. It would have been terrific. I might have been able to change her outlook on not planning on having children. She and I are both virgins, however, and I am frustrated, highly functioning, autistic, 25-year-old virgin of his PlayStation Network blogs. I love, again, change her mind about not wanting to have kids. Now, listen, guys, if I was Megan at this point, I would have completely have cut all ties, because changing plans about having kids, but then again, obviously, sex would have obviously had to have been involved in this, and there is absolutely no way in hell I would have done this, because it seems only when he says frustrated, high-functioning, autistic, yeah. This seems to only satisfy himself as though he had to scream these things aloud to, gain sympathy. That's why I wouldn't want to have anything to do with Chris after that, because it seems to be like he's making it all about himself, and he doesn't respect her wishes to, actually, the claims of actually having a boyfriend of her own, or, not wanting to have kids. In June 2007, Megan went to Kentucky. Undeterred, Chris continued emailing her, refusing to back away even for a moment, as he still believed that, deep down inside, Megan truly did love him. Chris, no, she didn't. Discovering Chop Chop Master Onion's rap showdown and the prizes for victory, Chris eagerly entered the contest, hoping to win a PSP and use the trip offered in the contest to win her heart. In the end, as expected, Chris lost, even after extensive cheating. I thought so. Adam Stackhouse won, and Megan didn't care, even when Chris began whining to her and others about how Adam and everyone else except Chris had somehow cheated. Megan didn't care either way. Again, what a surprise. Again, Megan not caring, that should be sending the signals. This childish behaviour eventually resulted in Megan losing her temper with Chris, reprimanding him for his selfishness and inappropriate behaviour. Despite being hurt by her outburst, Chris continued to harass Megan in much the same way as before. You see, this is where it began, again, before it went innocent, it went all innocent, now this is just straight up becoming harassment and borderline stalking. Rule 34 and the end of Megan. She came for me, CWC.jpg. Yeah, if you're not familiar with that image, well, it might be explained later, or it might pop up and I might have to censor it out. And by the way, that is not Crystal whose eyes are censored. That is Megan. Well, at least we have the full quote, proving there was no hiding the fact. Chris destroying his friendship with Megan in one sentence by stating the not so obvious. In November 2007, Chris would discover the Encyclopedia Dramatica page and begin his one-man crusade against the garbage. In the process, he uploaded a number of pornographic and lewd artworks, one of which was a picture of him fingering Megan with her eyes obscured. Also, Chris gave a thumbs up, apparently. Trolls originally believed that she was his imaginary sister Crystal, which prompted an outraged Chris to try and to deny accusations of incestuous desires by revealing that the image was actually meant to represent Megan. By the 12th of March 2008, Megan discovered the picture depicting her and demanded that be removed immediately. Chris attempted to do so, but found himself blocked at every turn. His edits were quickly reverted, or even worse, compounded, as he tried to upload other versions of the picture with the face cropped out or obscured. Sorry, Chris, once it's out there, you're not going to get it back anytime soon. On the 21st of April 2008, Megan wrote an email to Chris saying that she was not comfortable being around him anymore, thus putting an end to their friendship. Throughout the fiasco, Chris brashly attempted to paint himself as a greater victim than Megan, because that's what you want to do when you want to try and win someone back? I think not. Initially, even after assuming that she didn't understand what was going on in the picture. He would later admit he did it in a part to suppress the occasional impulse to rape her. I would say straight up right now, there is no two ways about it. That's more... Again, even if that was not Chris's intention, anyone else would have looked at that and said, that seems like it reveals some sort of very dark side to Chris, and how, come hell or high water, he will have his child one way or another, and he has chosen Megan as his unfortunate victim. And that trying to assert that what was going through just being in the picture and learning what he could have done was nothing compared to the misery of the trolling he was enduring. Evidence suggests that Megan was distancing himself from Chris even before she discovered the awful drawing. I can pretty much say that, yeah. Comments by former Gameplay's patrons Daniel Mims and Lucas indicate that Megan was already avoiding Chris before she found out she came for CWC. Chris himself has partially confirmed this account on the Wikipedia. It might very well be that she came for CWC was the last step in euthanizing a dying relationship, rather than killing a vibrant and living one. Aftermath. Too bad I was never just that too all into him. Cartoon Megan. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Megan. Why? Christian. I am the true original CWC. Despite Megan telling him she was no longer comfortable with being in his presence, Chris was not willing to give up on her. On the 11th of June 2008, Chris sent an email to a person named Tyler Wayne, asking Tyler to deliver Megan the birthday gift Chris bought for her, a German English dictionary. Chris said he could not deliver her the gift himself due to being forced into hiatus from the Pokemon League by that SOB Mike. Tyler, in response, suggested to Chris to arrange meeting with Megan outside the game place. Megan surfaced again in Chris's thoughts in July 2009, first in the CWC boyfriend video, and then in the subsequent update, I am the true original CCWC. Chris also reposted the Chop Chop Master Onion Wrap Showdown entry, though this version is slightly different from the ones frequently seen in later days. After My Friend Megan, Chris inserted a short break with a photo of him and Megan with a lovely heart frame. Either this is the original version before Chris tried to clean up his image, or a brand new version with new improved references to the long lost love. On the 26th of March 2009, he released a captain's log where he told everyone to leave her alone because she was going through stress from the trolls and threatened to stop drawing the comic if they didn't. At the beginning of the video, Chris claims that he was recently contacted by Megan, though it was most likely a troll posing as her, seeing as she had cut off all ties with him. On the 12th of August 2009, he dedicated a song to Megan in one of his KCWC Top 10 Dedication Special videos, where the first sign that he'd convinced himself that she told him, I love you, comes up, and he remains relatively consistent when speaking of her in acting as though this actually happened. Coming up next at number 7, we got another long distance dedication to the old gal pal of mine that I almost had I had I love you before I got kicked out. Megan Schroder for her and her favorite. This is her favorite artist, Yindri Malmsteen. I do know who I think that's meant to be pronounced Eugene Malmsteen. I have heard of that guy before. In 2010, he created a model of Megan for Mod Nation Races named Gal Pal, showing that he still couldn't let go. Yeah. Chris's version of events. Oh boy. So, on the 16th of May 2010, the Wikipedia's new fan manager, Dossier Kamiko, created a page for Megan, using the link on Chris's page of Gal Pals and Sweethearts. When Chris discovered it, he erased all of Daria's text and wrote his own version. The abridged version of events he presents is much shorter than his gigantic rant on the Wallflower, probably because the events of the Megan saga are beginning to fade from his memory. I bet. If you really must know, Megan and I first met at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament at the Game and Hobby place, back when it was still in the downtown mall. It was around the time the Yu-Gi-Oh movie debuted in theaters. She and we talked, hung out, and became really good friends. I did have lovey-dovey feelings for her, and I still care about her as a friend. I did her a number of favors by getting her this and that off eBay. Then she would reimburse me the cost of each item. When I started getting too close, she started to feel uncomfortable. My bad. Then she distanced herself from me, saw other dudes, including a possible homosexual. I drew that drawing of her and me that is unfortunately popular among everyone who tends to haze me for two reasons. Firstly, because of my own wishful thinking. I don't particularly know if you could describe that the She Came for CWC as, wishful or thinking or anything like that, but and second, a tool in a lame attempt to overcrowd the ED page against me with my bull crap, with my own information, his information overload to shut it down. Ever since, she totally spaced herself from me, like as if she had put a restraining order against me, which she did not. And as I was being forced off the place premises the last day I was there, she stood by and watched in shock. She could have spoken up for me, but she did not. I have lost communication with Megan since then. In the months and years after his breakup with Megan, Chris came and acted as if he'd gotten over her. His Wikipedia page on the Wallflower, for instance, claimed I had long moved on from Megan. However, a lingering attachment betrayed itself on occasion. The archive of his female acquaintances on the Wikipedia noted, I still miss her sometimes. In an email to Jackie from April 2010, when he recounted having his picture taken at the game place, Chris said, I was in a state of shock from seeing Megan and her short-lived romance, Christopher making out. That should have been me. Riveting. Simply riveting. The Blame Game. Origins. The Matthew Noble call of August 2010 revealed that Bob and Barbara disliked and distrusted Megan, believing that she conspired with Michael Snyder and some homosexuals to get Chris banned from the game place. Barbara also mentions how Megan lied about something, suggests that she believes Megan to be a troll. It is possible that this belief originated with Chris, as in his correspondence with Katie Bay, he lists Megan as a possible troll. His reasoning was typical. She had a vagina and didn't want to give him access to it. He also appears to have confused her with another white female brunette that placed a sign on his own lawn on Halloween of 2008. Chris doxes Megan. A series of leaked Facebook postings beginning in February 2012 revealed Chris's ever-growing pathological and extreme hatred for Megan. His animosity for Megan supposedly grew much more vitriolic after buying into his parents' completely baseless belief that Megan was responsible for the hate and smear campaign against Chris. Everyone, I have most urgent news. It is final in my mind and from my mother as an eye and ear witness of her consorting with Michael Snyder. Long before November of 2000, he misspells November. Megan Schroder is the seed of the whole hate and smear campaign against me on the internet. If any of you all know where she is or have clues of her or her brother current whereabouts, please inform me on this war, post haste. She is needed, brought to me, my mother and our attorney, for great questioning and a huge piece of my mind. Thank you. Christian Weston Chandler. Yeah, there's just no possible way that is going to ever happen. In the following days, Chris posted her contact information in hopes his friends would troll her. Thankfully, this effort was not successful. Was surprised again. Megan didn't hear about that, and the police were not called. On the 4th of April 2013, Chris denounced the game place and called for Megan to be jailed and beaten up, describing her as a vile, wicked, treacherous bitch. A rare display of hatred upon a woman not seen for Chris since Mary Lee Walsh. Judging by a 20th of July 2013 Facebook post, Chris seems to be holding Schroder, along with Snyder, to be the main culprit behind the various misfortunes he had over the years. Perhaps if Chris ever starts his comic up again, we shall see Megan taking up the golden hair helm of being Chris's foe. what's this one here? Chris retarded attempt at trolling Megan back. He exhibits a belief that if you simply dox people online, they get trolled back, not realizing the large number of reasons why this only happened to him. Suppose so. So let's see. So I believe this is meant to be John is Megan's brother. Megan, photograph 2007. The thing with Megan is a major lot to elaborate. In short though, I had little knowledge and understanding of the details when I thought she was a victim. The trolling started before November of 2007. Conversations between her and Mr. Snyder were overheard by my mother. Were they though? Maybe they were just talking about something different. Maybe that's what it was. Did it ever occur to her to think that? I was, from her perspective, weird, different, my good intentions greatly misunderstood, stalker-like, etc. Put all together, she is the seed of all that evil. But both my parents knew I was ignorant for the long time up until now. Magagi Le Scapegoat. Chris's vitriol for Megan continues almost 6 years after his ban from the gameplace, and he has even resorted to using Megan as a scapegoat for everything bad that happens to him, even if he is blatantly responsible. In the aftermath of a permaban from Walmart on the weekend of the 7th of September 2013 for having vandalized an Xbox One display, Chris flew into an incoherent rage and began blaming Megan for both his Walmart and Gameplace bans, both of which had nothing to do with Megan. If it had not been for Mr. Manager, Megan Schroder, and their internet troll cyberbully breeding and meeting ground as Seville's hobbies, games and toys, my family and I would not have to go through all the emotional, depressing, and financial downfall to the depths of greater poor and just getting by. The manager has drained us financially, thinking we are freaking rich, and Megan has robbed me emotionally, started all of the hate against me on the freaking internet, never financially paid me back for all of my material favors I bought her off of the eBay, and I want my uncut Sailor Moon DVDs from seasons R to Sailor Star. The German welfare bitch conned me from returned to me. Barely makes sense. Also, it was not Megan's fault that Chris decided to, hit Michael Snyder with his car for the second time. Also, it was not their fault that it forced Bob to pay for an attorney, even though they could have got one absolutely for free. You see, it's these sort of things that make me realize that Barbara is, and will continue to be just as ridiculously stupid as Chris. And then again, considering how old Barb was back then, I think she was like about 68 or 69. Many people say that she was coming down with dementia or something of the kind. But I just want to say right now that it should have been up to Chris to have realized that why exactly spending so... This could have all been sorted if Chris applied common sense. He did not need to drain his mother's finances that probably she earned throughout the majority of her life. If that had happened to me, I would have been disowned, and literally that would have been the end of that. On the 24th of September 2013, Chris claimed in a Facebook post to have received an email from Daniel Mims about Megan's current whereabouts. He now classes her with the witch Mary Lee Walsh and the bastard Michael Snyder, and makes 3 Lego minifigs of them and shakes them about as a sort of punishment. Of course, the notion that Chris can perform a sympathetic magic to harm his enemies is befitting with his other delusions. Chris would continue to use this Lego minifigure of Megan as a totem to relieve his anger for her, and it appeared a month later in detention at Lego Manchester High. On the 3rd of October 2013, Chris posted another rambling tirade directed at Megan to Facebook. This time, Chris claimed that Megagi Le Skunk, Megan's cartoon character, that she probably doesn't even remember making, told him that she is deeply distrustful, and agrees with Chris that Megan should have never been born. Additionally, as if she would even care at this point, Megan's Sailor Megtoon powers were revoked by Chris, on top of reiterating the previous wrongdoings by Megan. Chris has proven nothing at all, except perhaps that he suffers from several forms of mental illness. You ungrateful bitch. Quit hiding behind the Anons, trolls, place, people, and every damn person you have deceived into siding with you. By the way, I have checked with Megagi Le Skunk. She feels deep distrust in you. We mutually agree that you should have never been born, even if that meant she would never exist. Also, your Sailor Megtoon powers I created for you, I have taken them away from you. Usagi and the Sailor Scouts would have been most ashamed of you. And by the way, I pray you have been having really bad luck, feeling paranoid of everyone, and shakingly stressed because I continue to leave your minifigure upside down and shaken with the witch and bastard. And I have been feeling the very same grave emotions for the last 6 long years, you damn dirty bitch. Well, that's just, if not slightly unreasonable thing to say. Again, if I heard that sort of thing, I suspect the first thing Megan would have done was just to have posted that to, Facebook and said, have you seen what this person is saying about something that absolutely does not reflect reality? She would have given her own side, and I'm pretty sure this would have been all put to bed, because how could Chris justify what actually happened? Chris ended his first round with a comment reading, "Nobody else comment this post," possibly because he's tired of having his atrocious behaviour called out by even the most ass-patting of his friends. The following day, Chris focused all of his blame like a laser beam on Megan, insisting that she is responsible for the quickie, virtually all of his bans, the theft of his Sailor Moon DVDs yet again, and astonishingly, even the fact that he lacks a sweetheart. That's right, not only is Megan the one who's responsible for everything Chris inflicted on himself, but also Chris will only forgive Megan after he gets unpaid China and he feels entitled to. Again, somebody who is completely unreasonable would only ever say stuff like that. Absolutely nobody else would say something like that. I will only forgive Megan and remove all curses upon her when she apologizes to me in person and face to face. When the quickie, its form, and everything else against me on the freaking internet is gone, when I am not banned from anywhere, when I get my original uncut Sailor Moon DVDs returned to me, when my good name is cleared of all of the bad, and when I have my female sweetheart forever. When I have my female sweetheart for forever, and I am not sleeping down beforehand. It's not stepping down beforehand. Megan, Queen of the Trolls. So I'm going to take it that Chris just continued. Roughly 2 hours later, Chris posted another Facebook message. Chris, while seemingly intending to explain the methodology of Megan's master troll scheme, to everyone else, it actually reads more like valid condemnations of Chris's obnoxious behavior by his peers and authority figures. Finally, Chris reiterated his desire not to hear any criticism from his friends, because why? Why would anyone want to call Chris anyone out on their atrocious behaviour? Instructing others not to comment on his post and challenging Megan to a face-to-face meeting. Whether Megan cares enough to challenge in person, a delusional 31-year-old who lives with his mother, remains yet to be seen. Megan, I know you and the place employee continually conversed and conspired against me. Christian is so weird. Tell me about it. He hangs on to me, touching me, clinging onto my every word. Ugh, I cannot stand his shouting outbursts and echoes in my head after both of these times he's stressed out. I want to just kill him, destroy his goody two-shoes nature, soul, heart, and all that shit my mashed potato grenade could shatter. I wonder why people don't really believe in Chris all that much. I can't think why. What do you guys think? But leave his body intact. So I'm not committed for murder. I just want to ban him from my store forever. I got it. Let's get an embarrassing photo of him, post it online, and put him to shame forever. Mims and Lucas are tech freaks. Let's enlist them. Yeah, Chris will be banned from your store based on the hyped up mole online reputation. He will be out of my life forever, pending possible nightmares and night terrors to come. But who the fuck cares? His autistic, fragile mind will shatter along with his heart after I kiss my homosexual fake boyfriend in front of him. Ha 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 ha. I am onto your game that took away 6 years of my life and destroyed me. You either pay me for what you owe, or I continue to curse and haunt you with my father at my side. Chris later deleted the 2 posts prior to this one. A few hours later, he deleted this one as well. I wonder why. I really would love to know why he would delete them. It doesn't make sense. If Megan was really the mastermind behind all this, then why would Chris need to, if he was telling the truth, need to delete them? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Years later. Pro tip: do not attempt to contact Megan. Trust me, I've got better things to do with my time than that. No offense to Megan, mind you. I just live better off alone. I just say let her, wherever she is, live her life, and I'll just stay here, living mine. It's all done and over with. You see, that's really the first time I've ever seen Chris say something that suggests that he is technically going to move on. Unfortunately, I know for a fact he doesn't, as we're about to see probably shortly. On the 26th of January 2016, in the second Cat Night interview, Sir Arthur Spatchcock brought up the topic of Meghan and the grudge Chris had against her. Chris claims that he has finally gotten over that grudge, wishing for her to be left alone to live her own life. In February 2017, Chris looked up and browsed through Meghan's Facebook account, sharing one of her drawings to his own account. When asked by Kim Wilson if they were friends again, Chris responded, "Not quite. I just gone through my past and recent sent friend requests, found Megan Schroder, and I liked her cover photo. It's cute. She has a few cute dogs too. At least she's doing okay, as far as I can tell." The act of searching for his ex-gal pal came just 4 days after Chris posted about his feelings of nostalgia for his friends from Manchester High. Meghan was asked about Chris on her Etsy page on July the 1st, 2017. This was her response. Oh boy, okay, let's just go to this quickly, see what it says. Hopefully this isn't going to be too long and... Hi, thank you very much. Unfortunately with Chris, he never learns from his mistakes. He refuses to accept any accountability. When I heard about the house fire, I thought maybe it was a blessing in disguise and he would start a new better life with a clean slate. But from what I hear, no, he still begs for money and spends it all on Legos. Well, thanks for the good wishes, I really appreciate that. Basically confirming what I think we all know at this point. On the 9th of October 2017, Chris once again looked up Meghan's Facebook for her online store and left a comment on it. "I just wanted to tell you that I like your craft and you have become a lot more talented over the years. Many blessings to you and your family." This post was later removed. On the 19th of May 2018, a full decade after Meghan cut off all communications with him, Chris issued a public apology to Meghan and her brother and expressed his desire to reopen all wounds by speaking with them. "I want to once again humbly apologize to Meghan and John Schroder. I know I did y'all wrong back in the day, but time heals all wounds. Oh, so that's his justification for why he's saying he should be forgiven. It would be nice to hear from you with just a simple hi or best of luck. After all of these years, I still need closure. He's never going to get it, Chris. But again, there's no point in me trying to tell him why this is not going to happen. If he didn't listen to me before, it's not going to happen now. When asked why he would issue this apology publicly when she clearly does not want to be associated with Chris, he responded that he had no choice because she blocked him on Facebook. During the Idea Guys saga, Chris's belief in multiple dimensions was exploited and his sense of reality hijacked to make changes to many of Chris's characters, concept and perspective of the real world, with him considering them to be valid. Ideas involving Megan include Megan having the memories of CPU Redheart when she earned while in politics. On the 17th of October 2018, Chris declared on Twitter that if he and Bob received enough donations, he would personally drive over to Megan's house and take Bob and his poly lovers with him. About 19 minutes later, he backtracked on this claim after learning Megan possesses guns. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty big reason why you. Well, one, aside from that, but also, if I would assume she would just literally just call the police if she even saw Chris approaching. During January 2019, a YouTuber by the moniker Bazby interviewed Megan over Facebook. Bazby then put together a video narrating the chat. Oh boy, let's see. Okay, 5 minutes. We can watch this, I think.
Man. Alright, so
fortunately I've gotten better at editing sort of noise and all that, so this should be okay.
Like I said earlier in the video, I did get a chance to speak to Megan today. Hold on. Hide my messages. Here we go. Okay, so basically I messaged her on her, it was accidentally, but I messaged her on her business page because apparently she's in business now, and I'm like, cool. And she asked me to talk to her on her normal page, so I did. I found her. And I asked her, so I'm sure that you know what I want to talk about, things from past events. And she said, oh yeah, Chris. And I told her, I'm very drawn into the story. I've been covering it on YouTube, and I figured it'd be cool if I could contact you to see how things, how you feel about it nowadays. She goes, well, honestly, I don't follow his antics at all. I've seen a few recent things from someone alerts me that he's doing things regarding me or whatever. And I asked her, well, were you ever really friends, or did you just feel pity for him? And she said, no, I'd say despite his advances, it was a good friendship. He was a lot of fun to converse with. People think that I was using him for things, which I've heard. A lot of people say that she's just using him to buy things for. But it's been 15 years. What would she gain from lying from this? People think that I've been just using him for things, and I always present him gifts for his birthday or Christmas. Thinks or maybe I would either give him cash or just give me a trade for mangas or DVDs or whatever. And I said, did you ever think you two would reunite? Do you feel about... I'm tired. How do you feel about being a part of all this and having a fan base? And she said, I didn't know I had fans too. You do. Personally, I think it's best to stay away and not be involved with him again. I said, yeah, you have a fan base, and you're definitely the saddest part of the story, in my opinion. I do generally believe that. Now, I know a lot about some of the upcoming stuff that's coming for him, but I will say Megan was the part where it started going downhill. She was the beginning of the snowball effect, and I think that's when the rock bottom starts to come, if you know what I mean. Because that was the last real friend he had before he fucked it all up. Okay, where was I at? But comparing him now, I'd say he was definitely more normal during my time with him. That's saying something. How many others have contacted you over this? Oh, I couldn't keep count. It's always been through Facebook as well as XC. It's always half and half of condolences and trolls, means trying to get a reaction or reply out of me. I told her I was just fascinated by the whole thing. I'm happy to have contacted you and have you take the time to take part in this. And she didn't mind. I was very awesome. I was very like, damn, that's cool. I was always wanting to interview, or I'm sorry, I was wanting to interview her on Discord so I can record her voices talking about it, but I honestly didn't think she would know how to use Discord. I'm not saying anything bad, it just she was a little bit older than me. I don't know. It just also it was like 9:30 in the morning, so I told her I was sorry to bother her and understand this might be affecting your life in a negative way because I understand about the artwork and stuff. And she said, well, not necessarily. I made a couple really close friends because of it. I think there's a misconception out there that the whole thing traumatized me, which isn't the case at all. That's good. That was actually something I was curious about. And I asked her, does she still enjoy Sailor Moon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and My Little Pony? She said, I have a Sailor Moon collection, but I don't actively collect it anymore. It's been both a hobby and an investment. A few dolls I have sell on eBay now for $500 each. As for Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and MLP, My Little Pony, I sold those off years ago, although I still play 3DS games and have a few Pikachu plush, but I'm not into the whole anime fandom thing. Okay, fair enough. I asked her, do you still remain in Virginia, or did you escape? She said she's still in Virginia, and she has done some traveling around and overseas. So then she told me that she was going to go take her dogs, or go feed her animals, and I said that was fine. But then I just went ahead and said, hey, let's just postpone the rest of this, and we'll just finish up tomorrow or like another date. Yeah. There's so much more I want to find out, and I want to see like what all she's willing to discuss. But if you're interested in, I would say contacting, because I don't want anybody to like really harass this woman, let her live her life.
Mm-hmm.
If you were interested in buying one of her forest things, I didn't actually really take the time to look at these. They're kind of cool.
Okay, I think we could just like summarize it there. Okay, star date January 2019. Okay, transcript. I think this is literally just going over these. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing there. Okay. A lost interview was also conducted at some point during 2019 for the cancelled Chris Chan vs. the Internet documentary. However, the director got cold feet and refused to release any of the documentary footage. Gallery art by Megan, and I'm gonna like just click on. Well, you could probably see this again for yourselves if you go onto the Wikipedia yourself. A lot of these actually look really, really cool. Yoshimatsu drawing made. All of these done a Powerpuff Girls design. A Houndoom sort of like Pokeball looks pretty cool as well. Art of Megan, pretty much by Chris. Just the contrast is startling. Also, this one I believe is meant to be of Sailor Megatoon, and Chris. Oh boy, that just looks. That looks like, if you've ever heard of the site POW Comics, you probably already know what that's going to lead to. Chris, are you feeling okay? Chris, great. Reminder that I'm frustrated, Virgin, my sweetheart. And also, apparently, they've just turned into heads. Wow, too much. Yeah. Chris is even doing this right now, and he already knows that she is getting creeped out. More art, which, again, borderlines on something clinging to obsession, and miscellaneous, which is meant to be, I think that's meant to be a Chow from the Sonic franchise. Don't ask me if that's what at all important. Mims and Lucas Q&A. Megan would usually hide behind me, Chris especially. I don't think that's important. The Megan sagas, the players. You can see there's a lot of people involved. Well, I say for this, John's custom Gundam. Let's just check this one out very quickly. John's brother, we know about that. Other than that he is overweight, shares similar interest. Not much is known about John. I think that's probably for the best. His res 3D graphics, hugely animated scenes. Wait, hang on there. Did Chris literally just try and write a... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he did. Okay, so that's not really important as well. She came first. I think it's better if just like John stayed as far away from this. I don't think he's done anything to deserve like warranting his own sort of like page on this. But whatever, that's sad. So that, guys, was the end of the Megan Schroder saga for these for these readings on Christian. And as you can see right now, we've already done PVC. We are doing these in order, even though I don't particularly think like all of them go in chronological order, but we are doing PVCC, Megan, then we're going to do Adam Stackhouse next time, and then we'll move on to Encyclopedia ED, Blanca Wise, Gameplays, which is actually kind of strange. I thought Julie would have been like before Blanca, but that's fine. We'll go into all of we'll go into all of these when the time comes. Dark Ages, Jackie calling out, Renaissance, the modern stuff. I think, well, actually, you know what? I think as if like the dark part is like the part I really do. I'm sort of like more interested in from this to this. I'm not necessarily that interested in like the pre-stuff because it seems to be one lecherous disaster after another. But even then, they led up to all of this, so I think it's important to understand what happened all during all this that led up to stuff like the Jacob Sockner sagas, or the second Love Quest, or the financial crisis, or his dimensional merge crisis. I'm just gonna think. I think the best thing we could do when we're summarizing an article, especially like this on Megan Schroder, if they want to go out with you and they say yes, then you know what? That's absolutely fine. It should be, you know what? It takes two to tango, and there's nothing worse in the world than having your feelings go unrequited. But don't for 1 minute. If they say no, that's it. Move on. Don't waste any more time. If they are not interested in you, then they're not. Nothing is going to change your mind. And unfortunately, Chris has changed his mind several times by demonizing someone. And because of his delusions, made up these strange conspiracies that everyone was out to deny him a happy life with his boyfriend, girlfriend, sweetheart thing. You know, it's, considering how many other people we've got to go through and all this, I don't particularly think it's that shocking to find out why Chris decided to marry fictional characters. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading of Megan Schroder on the Wikipedia. Please also make sure to also like and subscribe so get your daily notifications when my videos come out. And I hope to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye for now.